The world of Magic the Gathering is going binge shopping, and it's something you guys need to be aware of. We're going to start with Lord of the Rings and what's happening with the One Ring. We're going to follow through on some scamming stuff that's going on in the backdrop, and then we've got to touch base on what's happening with Commander Masters. Give people a chance, and they will find a way to utilize something in a way you never intended or expected. Yeah, we're talking about the One Ring. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thanks again for hanging out with me on my channel today. Before we get started in today's video, I just want to say thanks again to all the fantastic people out there who are hitting that subscribe button and they're joining the channel, guys, turning on the notification bells, watching the videos every day, and helping me get closer to my goal of 20,000 subscribers. And of course, the 20,000 subscriber party we're going to have when we reach that goal. I can't wait to share it with you all. It's amazing, but it's really awesome to see the channel growing the way it has lately. Fantastic, guys, and we're almost there. We're only talking a couple thousand subs away. Wicked times. Now let's get down to some serious stuff, and we're talking about the One Ring. Over the last couple of days, and it didn't make my top 10. It was falling under the radar there on the weekend, but now that I've gotten the weekend sales together, the One Ring is selling out everywhere. From TCG Player to your local card shops, different versions of the One Ring started selling out, and a whole bunch of feedback started coming in through my email, my Discord, some store messages with people I deal with asking if I had lines on supplying the stores with more. You have people out there right now cracking the bundle packs just to get the One Ring because it's selling for over $100 for basic copies. It is insanity. Now, it's not unfounded. The insanity is crazy to look at on paper, and FOMO just grabs people sometimes, but it actually has some great utilization possibilities, and there's lots of broken cards that can already fit together with this card. And I will show some examples here in a second, but it's the idea of what this card can do and where it's already coming from. Now you have to understand, guys, when a card first comes out, they can start high on pre-sale, drop really low because nobody finds a use for it, and then later on, sometimes a card finds a home. People find ways to use it in ways you didn't expect, and that causes craziness. Combos get made, and it looks like cards like Mind Over Matter, which is a reserve list card, some cards like this are finding more uses now the more Wizards breeds new cards into the game, and one of them is the One Ring. There's other commander cards that are utilized with this to cause the continuous effect of not being able to be affected by things. I'll show you the combos I've seen myself and cards that people have told me about. I'll pop them up on the screen in a second. But all of these combos cause that FOMO effect. And for a while there, cards like Mind Over Matter, just like 6 months ago, were through the roof in sales. Then they've all calmed down until you can find the card for $40, $50 again. It's brought itself down. But cards like this now with the One Ring are going to cause those sales to surge again. It's going to cause an uptick in sales in the secondary cards not related to the One Ring, because that one card can cause 5 or 6 different infinite style combos. So in case you were living under a rock, this may come as news to you, or just kind of like, yeah, didn't you know that already? Well, no. A lot of us didn't, but it's crazy to see how much this ring is tempting people to buy. All kinds of people contact you out of the blue that you've never really talked to and start saying, can you get some of that One Ring? Have you seen what's going on? Have you checked the sales here? And then when I start data compiling and scraping and trying to find out stuff, it is brutal how many copies are selling. So if you're a person who has the One Ring, it's worth a lot of cash right now. I still think FOMO will die down. Like most combos like this, the market calms down and you can buy it 6, 7, 8 months from now at half the price. You can save yourself a lot of money just by being a little bit patient. But let me share some of these combos with you guys so you can see what I'm talking about, and then we're going to go on to our next part of the video because that's kind of important too. So as we can see, the One Ring went as low as around $25 US, and now we're all the way up around the $70 mark, and as high as $100 here in Canada just for a basic copy of this card, which is what everyone's getting so excited about. Like, free money basically is how people are looking at it. But why do people want this card? There's a lot going on that you have to unpack. It's a legendary artifact. It's 4 generic mana to cast it. It does have indestructible. It's a legendary. When the One Ring enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you gain protection from everything until your next turn. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life for each bird encounter on the one ring. Okay, now you can tap it to put a bird encounter on the one ring and then draw a card for each bird encounter you have on this card. That alone is saying quite a bit about what this card can technically do in the right brew or build. Now here's the card Mind Over Matter. It's an enchantment, it's reserve list, and of course it does cost a lot. 4 blue, 2 generic. And it says choose and discard a card. Tap or untap, target artifact, creature, or land. So now take a look back at this card that says you can put a bird encounter. So basically you can infinite loop and draw your entire deck as soon as the card hits the battlefield. That is a very powerful combination as a win con, as long as you've got the connecting pieces to make that win happen. Now our next card, this is Emery of the Lock, right? This is the Lurker of the Lock. I always liked her when she came out, and I said she was probably underrated for what she could do potentially. Now it says here you can choose an artifact card in your graveyard and cast it this turn. So when you take Emery, Lurker of the Lock, and you combine it with Sculpting Steel, because as Sculpting Steel comes into play, you can choose an artifact in play. If you do, it becomes a copy of that artifact. So you can copy the one ring, discard one to your graveyard, and keep looping this as an infinite cycle of, yes, you guessed it, go all the way back to the beginning. The one ring enters the battlefield. If you cast it, you gain protection from everything. So with that combination in play, you can't be touched. That alone is another crazy, disgusting combo that these cards are allowing to happen. And as if that wasn't enough, look at our last combination. This is Daphne, founder of Latnam. And this legendary creature says, return target artifact you control to its owner's hands. You can unsummon the one ring and recast it. You can copy a target artifact. Guys, there are lots of reasons to do the things we do. And whoever came up with these combinations, because it definitely was not me, this is some insane, impossible, fun combinations that you can build around that just really shouldn't be underrated. And it all happens because of the one ring, and that's only like a week or two of it being out. Imagine the combinations people may find in the near future. Okay, so now you guys kind of get a picture of what's happening with the one ring, the FOMO surrounding it. Now here's the ugly part of what's happening, and that's the scammers. There are people already creating proxies and selling them as the real deal for the one ring. I already know some people have been scammed. It already arrived in the mail. They knew right away it was fake when they touched it. They're already trying to get refunds. But this is something you guys need to be aware of, because old Magic cards like reserve list cards are very hard to fake because of the card stock, the quality, and stuff. It just doesn't exist anymore. But newer cards, when players aren't used to holding things and handling them, and there's all kinds of variances and errors, players have a very hard time really disseminating real from fake sometimes, unless you're an experienced player. So a lot of new players who might say, wow, they got this great deal going on for, the one ring, it's only $58, I'm going to buy it. They go and buy it, they play for a few weeks, and then finally, or even months, because they sleeve it up, year goes by, whatever it may be, you find out it's fake at some point. Some people I know discovered it right away. They're already going through the process of getting refunds and dealing with stuff. But guys, please be aware that the scammers are out there, and they will take every opportunity to make a $2 proxy card or less to make 50, 60 bucks on you, and you think you're getting a deal. Remember, if the deal is too good to be true, chances are it's not true, right? It's fake. Keep an eye on that stuff. Please be aware. This is your public service announcement. I hate when people get ripped off. It's okay if you want to build a proxy and have a proxy deck. If that's your thing, who am I to tell you otherwise? That's your own decision. I'm a real guy, but I get why people do proxying. At the same time, if you don't know it's a proxy and somebody's trying to pass it off as real, that's where I get bothered. That's where I get upset. So the idea you go and spend that money and get ripped off, it grinds my gears. Remember Family Guy, grinds my gears? Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. Now, let's finish things off here with Commander Masters. I am hearing in the rumor mill, and one of the people on my Patreon sent me this way, so I looked at some stuff on another video, and then of course I started delving into and looking at stores, and there may be a rumor at this point, not real, not confirmed, waiting to hear back. I need a lot more information, but there is a rumor that there are cuts in allocation for Commander Masters set boosters. Rumor. I have nothing confirmed right now, but I would not be surprised. And let me explain my reasoning on this. It's not because it's some great product. It's not because it's not a good product or amazing or whatever it may be. I don't care. The ugly beast in the closet for all I care, because it's an overpriced product. And it's a reprint product, but here's where I'm thinking. If Wizards of the Coast thinks they're not going to sell a lot, they're going to tell the distributor they're not going to give them much. It doesn't mean it's not out there. It just means we're not going to give you a lot right now. They're trying to build the hype and FOMO. They're trying to get the hype train going to make you think it's a short allocated run, but it's not. Even if they short run the stores now, the stuff's already been printed. It's already waiting to be sold. And even if it comes out as a discount later or a couple of bucks off, they are going to put it out there. They are just trying to constrict the supply chain to build FOMO and hype to make you think it's in short supply when it's not. They've done this time and again. And the thing that gets me is this trick works every time. On certain Timmies out there, they fall for it. And I just feel it's so unfair to say that to the players when it's really not. And then other YouTubers are going to comment on this, and it's going to be a self-perpetuating, it's going to happen because people said it enough times, broken telephone, when it's not. Okay, we already know they didn't cut no production numbers. It's all still out there. They plan on making their cheddar and being happy with the creamy cheese money they're going to get. And if they have to lie to you and kind of knuckle under and say, oh, it's a short supply right now, I just don't buy it. There's no reason. It doesn't cost them any more or any less to print it. So they're going to print it. Don't believe that stuff. If I get other information that tells me the allocation is cut, I'm still not going to tell you it's in short supply. It's just sitting at, whatever warehouse they're storing at before it goes to a distributor, and they want to see what the distributor's sales are going to be. So just because they say, oh, we're cutting your allocation numbers to half, it means nothing. Because a couple of weeks from now, they can just order again and get more of it. It's not selling out. It's not disappearing. Don't believe the FOMO. Wait and see for yourself. It's all going to be available, guys. I don't care what they say. If I'm proven wrong, great, I'm proven wrong. But cautious people keep their pennies in their pockets, right? We get to keep our money a little bit longer until we see what's really happening. It's a reprint set. End of story. Thanks a lot for hanging out, guys. Thanks for being here on the video and the backdrop here. And for those guys who are hitting that subscribe button, to my regular viewers who tune in every day, guys, it's amazing to see the channel grow, but it's really epic to know you guys are here every day helping this channel get closer to 20K. Boomstick, baby. Shop smart, shop S-Mart. Hey guys, a big shout out and thank you to the fantastic patrons of my channel. Without their continued support, this channel wouldn't exist. All these names you see flying by, they're the ones who support me each and every day. It's amazing to have them here, so thanks again to all my fantastic patrons and YouTube membership. You can't buy into FOMO. Don't believe the hype. Remember that song? Now I'm thinking about Beastie Boys all of a sudden. Welcome back to the Ramble Jamble at the end. I got Beastie Boys in my head now. It's sabotage and stuff because that's all they're trying to do. I don't care about those allocation numbers. I don't care if they get cut. It means nothing. It's still out there. It's still waiting. It's just at a warehouse somewhere and they can say what they want. It's not going to be in short supply. So guys, I'm waiting to find out though. I've checked with all my stores and no confirmed numbers are coming in, even from the big boys I deal with, that they actually got their numbers cut. So just because somebody or people out there are saying it, until I hear enough stores telling me the same thing, it isn't true. And even then, we all know what happens. More comes along a few months from now and restocks it all. That's just the way Wizards does things. Bothers me. Look at that. Look at this. The coffee is gone again. I don't know where it goes every day. It just disappears. Now, you guys are at the end. As we get closer to this number, we're literally, 1,800 subscribers away till the rules of the 10K party. So I've had to ramp up my purchasing power in various ways. So if things get a little rocky or dicey, if I seem a little grumpier than normal, it's because I'm working hard for you guys, trying to get this stuff sorted out and working a few extra hours to come up with some income. You guys rock, man. You guys are definitely worth it, I'll tell you that. You guys make the day a little bit more zen. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for hanging out, guys. Have an awesome day, man. We deserve this. We deserve it. You deserve it. I deserve it. We all deserve it. Now it makes me think about you scream, we scream, we all scream for ice cream. Where's my brain today? Living in the 80s.